Hey there, welcome to TFF Online Educational Academy. I'm Coach Fahad speaking. Now, today's video and topic I want to talk to you is about warming up before you do training and exercising and working out. And I think that it's safe to say that when people think about a warm-up, most of the times they think about, doing a light jog, doing something like skipping, doing some sort of cardiovascular exercise to get the heart rate up, which is fine, but I want to explain today what the purpose of a warm-up is and why we should warm up in a specific way to maximize results and to minimize injury. So first and foremost, the number one reason why we warm up is to minimize injury, okay? The second reason we warm up is to get our body ready, okay? And the third reason we warm up is from a psychological point of view. You want to sort of ease your way in and get the sort of central nervous system firing so that you're ready to train hard. Now, I'm going to assume that by watching this video, you are quite serious about seeing results. And you want to see results in the best way, in the quickest way, without injuring yourself, without harming yourself. So for that reason, I want to educate you and blow out this popular notion that 20 minutes on the treadmill is an ideal warm-up, for example. You'll see this in the gym if you go to a gym where people start off on a treadmill or a rower. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Now, those kind of CV exercises are great, what we call heart rate raisers or pulse rate raisers. They get your pulse going, yeah? You feel warm, which is great, it's not a problem. But I want to introduce you to three concepts of a solid warm-up. The three things you need to do in every warm-up to make sure that you are ready to train at your peak and maximum. And if you can start training at that maximum and peak level that you have, that's individual to you, you're going to see results faster. Okay? So there are three things that a good warm-up should do. Okay? So the first thing is mobility. Now, when we talk about mobility, what we're talking about is extending the range of motion so we can move our muscles the way they were designed without any inhibition, without any stiffness, and without any sort of pain, okay? When we think about mobilization, we think about not so much stretching, but we're thinking about release work. So, for example, you could do release like manual release. You could use, say, for example, a foam roller. I know foam rollers get a lot of slack, and there's a very good reason why you don't want to do too much foam rolling before training, but 30 seconds of foam rolling won't really affect it too badly. Again, you could use something like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball just to dig into sort of like knotted muscles or tight muscles, just to sort of like mobilize them a little bit. Okay, but again, we don't want to spend too much time on manual release. I'll explain why if you're interested, but it's to do with relaxation. Okay, the second thing we want to do when we want to warm up is we want to activate, okay? So we want to activate muscles. So for example, if we want to activate our glutes prior to doing leg work, for example, squats, I always suggest that we need to activate glutes before we do squats because you're going to get your glutes firing and doing the right work, and you're not going to place demand on your lower back and your hips and your muscles like your piriformis, and then you start getting pain in those areas, okay? So for example, with a squat, you might want to do something like a glute bridge or 45 degree hyperextension just to get your glutes firing and get them activated, okay? The last one that you want to do is potentiation. Now, potentiation is literally doing the exercise you're going to do, but easing yourself in. So for example, let's take a bench press. Let's say you started your 3 sets of 12 or whatever your sets are. Maybe you do 1 or 2 warm-up sets where you start with just the bar. You get the motion going, you get your central nervous system recognizing the movement patterns, and then you add a little bit more weight, and then you keep adding the weight until you get to that top set of what you're supposed to be doing, and then you whack out your 2 to 3 sets. Okay, so that's potentiation. We've talked about activation, and we've talked about mobilization. I'm not going to go into specific drills in this video. I just want to sort of like give you a brief overview. There is a video that I put on posture and stability which shows you a brief activation exercise for your upper back and for your upper body. But this is really clever, okay? So when we think about the human body and the way the bones work in conjunction with the muscles and the joints, we call that our kinetic chain, okay? So if you start from the ground up, all you have to think about is start from the ground up, you've got your feet, then you've got your ankles. So you got ankle, So every joint, yeah? Ankle, knee, hip, lower back or lumbar spine, mid back or thoracic spine. You've got your scapula, you've got your shoulder joint, also, which is known as the glenohumeral joint. You've got your elbows and you've got your wrists. So when you think about those joints, think about this, okay? The first joint are going to be your toe joints, but we're going to call them your feet. You want to stabilize your feet. Your next joint is your ankle joint. You want to mobilize. Knee joint, stabilize. Hip joint, mobilize. Lumbar spine, stabilize. Thoracic spine, mobilize. Scapula, stabilize. Glenohumeral joint, the shoulder joint, mobilize. Elbow joint, stabilize. Wrist joint, mobilize. So you've got the pattern there, right? Stabilize, mobilize, stabilize, mobilize, stabilize, mobilize, stabilize, mobilize. Okay? So going back to what I said earlier, if you want, say for example, you do an exercise where you feel a little bit rigid, maybe it's a shoulder press, okay? You want to mobilize the shoulder joint first and foremost, okay? Because you're going to be working the shoulder press. You're going to be working that shoulder. So you want to mobilize the joint. You want to mobilize the muscles around the joint. So maybe you have tight traps. You might want to do some release work on the traps, okay? You want to activate the muscles to stabilize that joint. So when we're thinking about shoulder press, your scapula plays a huge part in that movement. So you want to stabilize the scapula. Again, watch the video on stabilization and posture. I'll tell you how to stabilize the scapula. And then you've got that as a warm-up. So you've got activation, mobilization, and then maybe you can do a few reps of one set, warm-up set with a light weight just to potentiate that muscle. Okay? Now, one of the warm-ups that we do here at TFF, that I do personally, I'm going to share it with you right now. It's a great mobilization warm-up. It does incorporate a pulse raiser because there is a little bit of CV involved in it. But it's just a nice way of getting people warmed up and psychologically ready. There's a lot of mobilization in this one. And then after we do this warm-up, we then do some activation drills, and then we go into the workout, which we can start potentiating from that. So we can do potentiation and activation after we do this mobilization warm-up to begin with. So all we do is we do a star jump 10 times. So hands and feet together, arms and legs out to the side, into the middle. And what this does, this mobilizes the hips and the shoulder joint. So we do 10 of those. Then we carry on working on mobilizing the hips and the shoulder joint and the ankle joint by doing ski jumps, which is similar to star jump, but you're going backwards and forwards 10 times, like this. Okay, then we carry on with your arms in this plane of motion. So we do, rather than doing this frontal plane movement, sorry, it's the sagittal plane movement, we've got a frontal plane movement now. So we're going back and forth like this. Okay? And then we do crisscross. This is more sort of like a coordination exercise, just to get you warmed up from coordination and central nervous system point of view. We go right over left, back, left over right. Right over left, left over right. Okay, so let me just give you an example of what one set would look like. So we start with star jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back and forth, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Crossovers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we do that 3 sets, and then we go into the activation and potentiation part of the warm-up, which is specific to the workout you're doing, so I won't go through that today. If you have a question, you want to drop me a message, ask me a specific question, say I'm doing this workout today, I'm working this body part, what should I do to activate, what should I do to potentiate? It's also individual to you to know where your weaknesses are, where your strengths are, what your tightness and your muscles are, what your imbalances are, etc. We can have a look at that for you if you need any help with that. Okay, so with that, I'm going to leave you. Have a great day. I'll speak to you soon. See you in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy. And if you've got any questions, just give me a shout. I'm more than happy to help.